Hello, my name is Angela, also known as Swaha. Today's tip again is on diet nutrition. We have within Ayurveda, the ancient science of Ayurveda, the life sciences, something that we call the 24-hour cycle. And that 24-hour cycle gives us plenty of information of what we should be doing on each time frame of the day. For example, between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. is the best time for us to be sleeping. The best time for us to wake up is by 5 o'clock in the morning. And the best time for us to exercise, for example, is between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. And the best time for us to have our lunch is sometime between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. The best time for us to do work and study and homework and things of that nature is between the hours of 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. The best time for us to have dinner is typically between the hours of 6 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. The best time for us to go to bed is usually in the hours between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. So specifically, today I'll go at a later video into the rest of the other timings and what they mean and why they're of any importance. But today we're going to specifically talk about the time frame between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. is a significant time frame because it's known as the Pitta time frame. And Pitta refers to a principle within Ayurveda that refers to two elements, mostly fire with a little bit of water. And what's significant about this, again, is that it has a lot to do with why we should eat our largest meal of the day between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. is because when our fire within our body, which if you want to know where our fire resides in our body, it actually resides in our gut. It's what we call Agni, or fire. And what happens is that between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., in every body, this naturally fires up. It naturally fires up and it gets ready to digest, okay? And so it is important for us to be eating our meal sometime, our lunch meal, between this time of day. And why do I say it should be the largest? Because this is the only time of day that the biggest meal of the day, that we can eat the biggest amount. So when I say biggest amount of meal, I don't mean you got to go to a smorgasbord and just eat the whole thing, okay? What I mean is your biggest meal of the day. So if you're going to have a lot of protein and carbohydrates and something to drink and things like this, your biggest meal of the day, your heaviest meal of the day needs to happen during this time, because this is when your body has the greatest opportunity to break down that big meal, okay? And what happens when it breaks down is that during this time of day, it breaks down so effectively and so efficiently that it gets all those nutrients to the body very quickly, very easily, and very effectively, okay? And the reason is because that fire is stoked. It's ready. It's ready to just hold on to anything and break those nutrients down that you put into the body from the food that you receive into the body, and breaks it down. And the benefits of this is that if you eat your largest meal of the day at this time of day, between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., you're going to have a better opportunity to have a balanced weight. You're going to have a better opportunity in digesting your food, especially if you have allergy issues or allergy concerns. If you have irritable bowel syndrome, definitely this is something to take note of, is eating your largest meal this time of the day, because your body will be able to break down the food at this time the best, okay? If you're going to eat any kind of junk food, so if you're a popcorn lover, or if you love that chocolate cake or ice cream or candy, whatever it may be, this is the time that you should be eating those foods, because your body will be able to break those down more effectively and more efficiently. And instead of those sugars and those junk foods sticking around your body and building bulk and causing you to gain weight, it will move through your body more effectively and out your body, so that it doesn't hold on to unnecessary fat. And so this is one big thing to think about in regards to how you set up your meals for the day. Okay, and so just as another note is that between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., so when most people are eating breakfast somewhere in that time frame, our body, no matter who you are, is functioning a little bit slower at that time because it's in what we call a kapha time period. Kapha represents the principles of earth and water. Those are heavier in content, and so what happens is the body is moving slower in those time frames between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. and therefore our ability to metabolize and break down foods takes longer. And so therefore you want to have a smaller meal. That Agni, that fire, is not lit up in the morning, and it's not supposed to be. That's just the way it is. It's fine for you to eat breakfast. There's nothing wrong with eating breakfast. It's a matter of being choiceful in what you eat and eating a smaller meal for breakfast. 6 a.m. To 10 a.m. is actually a good time for you to exercise because that's when you build heat in the body through exercise and get the metabolism going. And then by the time 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. rolls around, it's raring to go and ready to digest that biggest meal of the day. It's the same thing that goes for dinner because between the hours of when I mentioned for dinner, between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. is actually kapha period again. So it's again the earth elements and the water elements which are heavy. And again, our metabolism is not functioning at its highest peak during that time, and so our ability to break down foods again at that time of day is going to be slower. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's a natural rhythm and role that our bodies have, and it's a matter of understanding that flow and doing what we need to do and making proper choices in how we choose to eat our meals and when we choose to eat our meals. Okay? So today's tip of the day, eat your largest meal of the day between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. and you'll be happy you did, and you won't have that bloating feeling. You'll tend to have more energy once that 2 p.m. clock rolls around, when most people feel tired. If you eat your largest meal of the day, you probably will feel more energy between the hours of 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. So hopefully this is a helpful tip. If you want to know more information about this, feel free to contact me. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care, be well, and be happy and healthy.